Yeah, I just knew about the other result. Okay. 2 knights. So hey, we're in for some fun here. What's white gonna do? Come on, play knight g5. Boo. Okay. Uh, that's another line, like a variation of the Scotch gambit, I guess we could say, if he takes on d4. Okay, so this could have been reached with the Scotch gambit. What's a Scotch gambit? Okay, well, I'll show you. So it's good to know when you have transpositions. Okay, this is the Scotch game. And when white doesn't take the pawn and plays here, we call this the Scotch gambit. And then black, this is black's one of the main lines, probably black's best move. So that's after 4 moves. So we've reached the same position after 4 moves. Now, excuse me. If white plays e5, black plays d5. I think they call this the Max Lang attack. Let's see. Now, black's best move is to play d5. And now, this is dangerous territory. I have a student that would play this as white, and he often had some pretty bad losses with white here. Okay, what was he doing wrong? What would you do here? I mean, if you know theory, then you know what to do. But there are two main lines here. See, well, actually, there's 3 main lines here. Okay. What are the 3 main lines? Well, you either have to take care of the bishop, we have to take the knight, or we can decline it and take en passant. Those are your 3 main variations. Okay, now this one, it turns out that this black scores like 75% on the databases. Black scores 75%. This bishop is going to come here, and this just devoids white of any play in the center. Not to mention this killer pawn structure. And black can do that, bring his queen up, and castle long, and white is toast. So the best move, according to theory, is to play bishop b5. That's what he does. Okay, good. And now I'm a little lost on what theory is. You'll have to forgive me. But black did have to take care of the knight, right? I mean, we can agree on that, right? He could give a check, but that could run into trouble.
Check.
Because then we take back here, and black has 2 guys loose. So we'll assume this is the correct move. Now, white is ready to win a pawn, right? That stops that. So I think this is book, and I can't trust the guys simply because they're moving fast that they're playing theory, because so many people play fast. So let's see what happens. He takes and castles. So I would say this is most likely still theory. Now that looks dangerous, although it could be perfectly playable. Why is it dangerous? Well, this diagonal. Suddenly this knight is pinned. But where does this knight go? It looks like he has to go to g5, which wouldn't be all that bad. Why is it not bad? Well, number one, we can always drop back here if we have to. Okay? And if he plays e4 or f4, we might even come back to e4. So here he breaks the pin. And here black is avoiding, well, I'm not sure. Does he need to play bishop b6? I'm going to assume it's theory, but if we're worried about a discovery, I don't see. Let's burn a move. Like, I don't see how this is useful, because we can just
Check.
take. So if maybe the idea is he's doing this to play c5. Okay. So white might, well, I don't know. I'm looking at b4, not knowing theory. I'm thinking, hey, let's play b4 and stop c5. Let's see if he does it, then we can take a look. No, he played here. Okay. So this stops c5. But he could do it anyway and then come back again and get that c5 in, right? So one advantage of having double pawns. But, like I said, I don't, how do we know a move is good unless we check it out? We have to analyze. The old days when they were analyzing this Scotch Gambit 100 years ago and longer, somebody sat down with a chessboard. If this is a book position, and, maybe somebody's played b4. The obvious idea is you want to play here, okay? Because if we can't do this, we drop Edgar down here on a1, okay? I often name the chess pieces. It makes it fun. Pick names. Edgar just got taken. So we would have to play c3. And now if takes, for what it's worth, white has a pass pawn. It's also a backward pawn, but it is a pass pawn. So, I don't know. I don't know what theory is. But we don't always have to know theory. We can figure out theory. So we need to develop. White needs to get these guys in the game. He could put the queen here and hit the knight, but the knight's just going to go back to e6. We could put the knight on d2, but where's he going next? Probably to b3. So let's see what happens. Now black is counterattacking in the center. And black has a small lead in development. Why do we say that? Well, because his queen is out and he isn't, and this isn't. Both sides have 3 minors out. Both sides are castled. So, to me that looks dangerous, but that doesn't mean it's bad. It just looks dangerous. I guess we can counter down here. I don't know, knight e6 looks logical. Knight f7 with the idea going to d6 and looking after these squares is certainly a plan. Let's see what black does. He goes here. Okay. And he chases it again. So does black win a pawn here? Knight takes, bishop takes, bishop takes, pawn takes, queen takes. What am I missing? Okay, took a little different way, so I got to make sure this still works, but I think it does. And he doesn't take. So now this bishop is loose. This knight is loose, but that would lose the bishop, so I think bishop takes.
Check.
Okay, so black has managed to win a pawn. B2 is hanging. I see that. Black has a pass pawn. White has a pawn majority. Black has a bishop. White doesn't. But right now this bishop isn't in the game. We can't advance c5 without dropping d5, but we could play d4 here. The only question is does black have to move, or white have to move that knight, because the d pawn is defensively pinned against the bishop. So let's see what black does. He snatched the pawn. So sometimes I have the logic I like to explain. Imagine the man who is on a boat and the boat is sinking and he runs down to his cabin down below deck because he has a suitcase full of valuables. And he runs down and he comes back and all the lifeboats have gone, or the boat it's too late. The boat sinks while he's down there. Here, does black need that pawn? Now, sometimes it's perfectly good to take it. We have to make an assessment of the position. So if it's playable, it may very well be the best move. So the first question to ask ourselves is, how much time did black take on that move? Looks like he took about 2 minutes. So we'll assume it was. And honestly, I think it is playable, but we have to assess that and decide, do we really need that pawn? Sometimes I tell people, you can win all the pawns you want later. Let's take care of business now. But it looks playable. And white is moving quickly. Now here's another pawn offered. And here he chose not to take it. Once again, my feeling is he might be able to take it. It does provide some defense here. Like for instance, let me show you. Question is, can white play this? Maybe not. Maybe this queen check is an embarrassment. Yeah, that would turn the trick. See, his idea is, if you take,
check,
I'm going to steal this, and I got my pawns back. Okay. But oops, get back here. Pick up the wrong edge. Okay, but queen check just seems to force white to resign. He's dropping that knight for nothing. Okay, so he chooses not to take the pawn. He says, "I'm up 2 pawns. I'll stick with those." Okay. So, development is virtually even. Look, the back ranks match, the queens match, very symmetrical. Black has 3 center and wing pawns all together in a bunch. One of them is doubled, but he does have 2 connected pass pawns, and white has a pawn majority. White needs to be playing for f6, but he can't yet. His knight is going to drop. Okay, so keep it symmetrical. Now this game is turning in black's favor. Okay, pressure on the knight. Okay, attack and defense. Maybe this would lead somewhere, maybe not.
Check.
And what is he doing? Why is he doing that? Let's see. This is a threat. This is a threat. This could be a threat. So he's giving up the exchange. Well, we'll go forward and come back. So somehow black has lost his edge. Now look at the time. Wow, where did that come from? I wasn't watching him his time evaporate like that. Okay.
Check.
He did take a long. Maybe here he realized that white has some threats. So suddenly, black's not looking so hot. Again, I'm not going to trade queens. I'm not going to trade queens. Where have we seen that before?
Check.
I'm not going to trade queens. I'm not going to trade queens. I'm going to steal something. Okay, so, this is black's hope right here. And that just seems to pitch it.
Check.
And we got to watch work on F1. Now wait. We got this deactivated. I guess we have to cover this guy. Let's see. Well, no, it's not enough. Push, he takes, you push to the 7th, and white is defending the 1st rank. And there goes that pawn. So clearly the clock is beating black here. You're losing the C pawn. He doesn't want the C pawn yet. Now it's just losing for black. I mean, this is throwing away a win. I mean, black needs a miracle. I mean, he was dead winning this game. But, oh well, these things happen. And that pawn is going to queen. Oh, chihuahua. Okay, so something seriously went wrong for black. Let's see. Let's go back to move 23. So we're going to back 58. I think that'll get us where we want to go. 58 half moves. Okay, so, I mean, black is definitely not losing this. So, what, you know, this attacks the knight, but this, well, this is not a threat, and this is not a threat. This is arguably a threat, but I don't know if it's enough. Let's see, he checked.
Check.
And then he gave up the exchange. So, let's see. So, maybe it's just time to do this. Okay. Now, white might get some play here. Let's see. Now, if you push, there's an annoying check. But we can tuck in the corner, and we answer this check with this. Okay. I mean, this pawn is a nuisance, but two nuisances are worse for someone than one nuisance. Okay, I guess that's a way to put it. And you know, how long has this been hanging? Well, not all that long. Let's see. Let's just take it. Okay. And
check.
You know. Oh wait, no, we have the XP defense, or do we? Oh, look at this. Ah. Yay.
Checkmate.
Ooh, was that forced? Let's see. We stole the knight. There came that check. I guess we have to go here. And yeah, black is winning this. But going here, this check is a nuisance. Now we definitely don't want to take this, but that move's crushing. We hope he takes our queen.
Check.
No, white's not winning. So we just put the king on f8. So f5 is c5, f6 is not playable. You know, it was like he went for the piece when he didn't have to. He has those center pawns, and just ruined a really strong game. So let's back this up. Wait, let's go forward.
Check.
So let's hold the check. You know, like I say, this is not a threat. The queen is covering it. It becomes a threat after the check. How long did he take on deciding on the check? About 2 minutes. Okay, that's fine. What should he do? Well, I was talking about this check. Let's just eliminate that check. And this also provides a little defense down here. So if f6, then we can push by. And this check, you know, doesn't, well, I wouldn't say it doesn't go anywhere. Let's see.
Check.
Ouch. Better not go in the corner. Okay, so my idea is not quite working. We have to cover the mate. I don't know. Let's see. Well, maybe we can do this now. That defends the mate. And, you know, it's still tricky, you know. I hate to give back the exchange. Let's see. So apparently bringing this rook off the back rank wasn't wise. You know, just just play here. You know, if this comes, it's going to come. Okay. And again, you know, we can kick again. And maybe if white's ever able to get this move in, we can just leave the pawn there. We treat it as if it's one of our pawns, although maybe not. There might be an embarrassing knight check. But no, we can't play f6. What am I doing playing f6? I looked at that before. We play f6, we lose our knight. Okay, so just here and make white, you know, white tries this. Well, you know, we can just bring the rook over or something. You know, white doesn't have an answer for these pawns in the long run. I mean, this has got to be, you know, got to be winning for black. And here he had plenty of time on his clock. So how long did he spend on rook b4? Well, he spent almost half his time. So, you know, it's just clearly he can't do that. He had the answer right here. And then he's got a back rank defender. You know, white tries this. We're still going to go forward. Okay. You know, this queen is in trouble. We've got to keep protecting the knight. You know, come up here. That's a nice central spot. Well, here come these pawns. You know, those pawns are problems. You know, white's just not getting, you know, here, let's just take it. You know, no check here. You know, it's a shame black lost a completely winning game. Oh well, I'm going to wrap this one up and then let me stop the recording.